Item 1, SawStop gave me this saw. They gave me the big saw that I've got in my shop too, and man, I appreciate it. It makes it a little tricky to stand before you and give an unvarnished review on this, doesn't it? But that's what I'm going to do, because I've been using it, putting the siding on this, corner bats, some of the exterior finish, exterior trim has been taken care of on this little saw. And I think I've used it enough now to have a few observations about some of the features, some of the construction, and some of the peace of mind that comes from having a table saw that's not going to eat your lunch. I haven't used every one of the competitors that's on the market. In fact, I've only used 2. I didn't own either one. They belonged to other guys, but I've used a teal blue one and a safety yellow one. And they were both good tools. But I don't think they were as intuitive, as ergonomic, or as smoothly powerful as this one. There's something about the way that this thing clamps together, and it's a very sort of a sexy little clamping arrangement that puts the motor onto the stand. It sits here and you can lean on it and the feet don't scoot and it doesn't chatter, and it feels heavier than it is. Because boys, it's not very heavy. I mean, for better or for worse, you can carry that around the job and you can put it in your pickup. It's got a handle on the side, for crying out loud, and it will set on its side. That's handy for storing it in the truck, in the van, or in the shop. But when it's set up, it feels like a saw. It feels like you could slide the table off there and drop a sheet of plywood on it if you had to without, breaking anything or tipping anything over. That's a plus. Let me own this. On the downside, when you're used to working at a big old shop saw like I have been, and you reach down and you grab one of the controls and they're in the right place and they're the right size and they're real positive, but they're plastic. How is it going to be this light and this serviceable though if they weren't plastic? So the plastic feels like it's the right thing. Everything locks up tight. The scale, you can read it. It operates smoothly. 90 degrees is 90 degrees. Oh, here's a cool thing. It's got a little safety right there, so you just can't run the fence over into the saw. You just can't do it. You can get down to about 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, you can get within 3/8, but if you want to go any closer than that, it takes a deliberate act of your thumb to push that little spring-loaded plastic stopper over so you can come right into danger distance. That's smart. So I've got to say that inventing a process that enables a saw to drop out of the way without cutting you is an innovative thing, right? But it's not much more innovative than this little gizmo right here. Look at this. This fence drops over there and follows the fence over there like an obedient pup and becomes an extension on the table, so that you can run this thing out just as far as you dare, in this case, 25 inches, and it'll support a rip. I mean, that, I would have never thought of that, boys, and I'm proud of you for doing it. Okay, I've got to think I'm probably not the only guy that can't keep track of some of the tools and supporting gizmos that come with a saw, wrenches and the guard, the miter gauge. I mean, where did I put that, right? And it just gets plowed into a job site. But with this thing, I mean, that's smart. I've got to say, it's thinking outside of the box, boys and girls, and I appreciate it. They got an Allen wrench right there that I'll probably lose before long, but we've all got Allen wrenches in our toolbox. So I can't look you in the eye and tell you that it has the power of a big saw, but it's got the power of some big saws. It's got enough power for just about anything you're going to run into. I mean, this is a piece of dry Douglas fir. Let's do this. There's a little bit of chatter on there, and you can clearly see the saw where I interrupted the feed speed, but doggone it, most table saws will do that. And most table saws can't be picked up and thrown in the back of the truck without breaking a sweat. So I think they have hit a very sweet spot between power and portability. And let's run a piece of siding through there and see what it does. gagging that in there pretty hard. And granted, that's only 7/16 OSB, but that's a real saw, boys. That's a real saw. So let me just start from the top down as I wrap this up. The fence, rack and pinion, very controllable, very positive, pretty darn stout. I mean, you don't expect that, but you get it. That's a big plus. They've got a nice little catch right here to hold the insert in. Not as sexy as the one on the big saw, but way sexier than digging it out with the fingernail. You know, it works really good. This little stop, this little safety stop is excellent. Now this thing is about the slickest compromise between speed and accuracy that I can think of. I mean, it's really slick. You just grab that plastic conglomeration and you squeeze it, and now you can slide that tilt full range instantly and lock it. And if you want to fine tune it, you release it, and it's got a little ratcheting, controllable micro adjustment. Bam, you're locked in. Same device, raises and lowers. I can't even imagine how you boys made that happen, but it's pretty slick. The on-off, big enough you can hit it with your knee. It's hard to mistake it. I mean, so the controls on this saw look a little different than what we're used to seeing on either big table saws or portable table saws, and that's because there's more going on inside this saw than any other saw you're going to buy in terms of safety. You turn it on, and it talks to you with light. Not ready? Ready. So with this in the on position, that big old handy stop-start, that rapid flashing is letting you know, in case it's noisy in the shop, that the blade is still spinning. That's smart. So I mentioned that the on-off switch is, you can't miss it. But there's a couple other switches down here that you need to know about. The first is a safety lockout for kind of a master power on-off safety feature. Slick. The second is a bypass mode. So just in case you think your material might be conductive, you can test it, you can shut the safety system off, do what you got to do and press forward. And if you have any questions, there's full instructions in the manual and at the SawStop website. Compact 10-inch table saw. I don't know how you're going to beat it. So I'm not sure what else to tell you except that it's a real tool and it's real safe. And you're not going to have to worry about anybody on the job site having an accident on your table saw that you've got to explain to a judge. That's priceless. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.